what if you forget something, right? What if nobody shows up? And what if you say the wrong thing? I've been guilty. If that sounds like the inside of your brain at the night before a cookie class, I want you to know you're not alone. I completely get it because I've been there so many times. Today, we're talking about the biggest fears that cookie class instructors have and how you are going to move past them. So, cookie friends, I'm Summer with Summer Sweet Shop. I'm so excited that you were here. And today, we're talking about something every instructor, and I mean every, like even the seasoned instructors, the pros, right? They have all felt these issues before and these fears before teaching a cookie class. And it's that little small voice whispering, well, what if I mess up and things don't go the way I expect? I remember my very first class, I was so nervous. I was up so late getting all of my supplies ready, getting all the workstations set up, and I couldn't sleep that night. I tried to sleep, put my head on the pillow, but my mind was racing. And I was thinking about, what if I forget something? What if I say the wrong thing? What if nobody even shows up to the class, right? I did not want to embarrass myself. I didn't want to embarrass my family, right? I had this dream. I wanted to try out cookie classes, and I had some high expectations of how this was going to go. But I was so nervous and fearful at the same time. I imagined, when I put my head on the pillow, I imagined the worst case scenario. Do you do that? Sometimes I do that, and I have to snap myself out of that because I can easily go to those worst case scenarios. But I want to tell you, guess what happened? None of those fears that I had happened. People showed up that were supposed to show up, and there might have been a few tiny hiccups here and there of maybe I said the wrong thing, or I couldn't remember to say flood icing that is like maple syrup, and I just came up with the word honey instead, even though I've said maple syrup for flood icing a million times. But I had those small hiccups, and you know what? My students didn't even notice, right? They didn't even bat an eye, and they ended up loving the class anyway, right? So that fear that is holding you back from teaching your classes, it's the ones that are keeping you stuck. They're keeping you right where you are. They're preventing you from growing your business, that you have this dream of growing and scaling. And I want to walk you through 3 of the most common what ifs, and how you're going to handle them like a pro, and you're going to move past them. So number 1, what if I forget something? I think I have this one every single time I teach a class because I'm like, I am going to forget something at some point, right? Well, the thing is, I want you to accept this. Number 1, it's going to happen. You will forget something. And it happens to pros. It happens for people who have taught dozens of classes. But here's the trick, okay? Here's the trick. Here's the hack. You're going to create a checklist. Now, the good news is I have a checklist that you can download. I'm going to put it below. So make sure you go and download this free checklist that you can use for your cookie classes. I use it every single time I teach a class. Like it is what I need to teach a class. I know that if I have this list and this checklist, we are going to be golden. But you need to have a checklist for every class so that you stay in control, that you don't start spiraling on, what if I forget something? Because you're going to know if it's on that list, you need to be having it. So I also keep a little small backup of extra supplies. I always bring extra bags. I always have extra cookies. I always have extra icing, just in case something happens. Maybe an icing bag explodes, maybe a cookie drops or breaks, right? I want to be prepared. And those are some things that I can be prepared with. Have an extra scribe, right? And here's the secret, friends. Students are not going to notice 90% of what you think that they will. If you forget a scribe tool, guess what? You can use a toothpick. You can use a spoon, the back of a spoon, right? They are not even going to know. If you were short a piping bag, maybe you've got a huge class of 30 people and everyone's supposed to have their own icing bag and you got 29 and you're one short, 2 people can share. You will figure this out. Or you've got your extra icing there in a bag. You're going to be fine. So you will learn to improvise, and you have to remember it doesn't have to be perfection. It does not have to, it's not going to be perfection. And so I don't want you to have that expectation going into your cookie class with that expectation of perfection. It's about creating fun. You're creating a fun, inviting experience for them, and you want your students to feel welcome. You want them to feel at home. You want them to feel at ease, that there's no pressure that they are under at all. Okay, number 2 is, what if nobody shows up? This is probably one of my biggest ones because, it just feels so personal, right? I had a class where only 2 people signed up for the class. And you might think, well, Summer, did you cancel the class? I did not. I still kept that class on my calendar. I still did the class with 2 people. And you know what? We had the best time in that class. And those students had so much fun. They talked about it. And it was almost like a one-on-one for them because they got extra attention, extra instruction from me. And you know what? Those people came back over and over again. Those 2 people showed up to my next class and then the next class after that. And you think, well, I'm just kind of wasting my time. Is it really worth it to do 2 people in a class? Listen, we all start small. And if you're just starting out teaching your classes, you're like a new instructor. You're going to be new to doing this in your area. And you've got to start somewhere. And so I encourage you, even if only 2 people sign up for that class, still have that class because everyone starts somewhere. That's going to build and it's going to snowball. That snowball doesn't start out huge, right? It starts off really, really small. And so I want you to, instead of focusing on the empty seats, because right, that's an easy slope to go down of, I could have fit 12 people in here, only 2 people showed up. That's so sad and depressing, right? I want you to focus on the 2 people that did come to the class, the people that did sign up for the class, okay? I want you to serve those students so well that they will not be able to resist you teaching again. They were not going to be able to resist that next class that you have, okay? So you're going to build that momentum 1 class at a time. 1 class at a time. And I promise you, before you know it, that word of mouth is going to spread. You're going to be able to network in your community and those seats are going to start filling up. Okay. And number 3 is, what if I say the wrong thing? Now, this one makes me laugh because I say the wrong thing all the time. I guarantee you my next class that I'm teaching, I'm going to say the wrong thing and I'm going to have to correct myself, right? And you could think, well, that's super embarrassing, but let me just tell you, it happens. And what I love about that is it makes you real. It makes you relatable. And you know what? That person, that student might come in your class and be all uptight and nervous that their cookies are not going to turn out like yours. And they're going to see you mess up. They're going to see you overflow a cookie. They're going to see you put your hand in the icing, right? And they're going to see you maybe even break a cookie. And they're going to go, oh, okay, she's human. She makes mistakes too. Like, it's going to be okay if my cookie doesn't turn out perfect, right? They're going to take that sigh of relief because they're going to say, she messes up too, and it's okay. One of my favorite things to do in a class is when someone messes up, we just scrape the whole thing off. We get our thingamajiggy and we just scrape the whole thing off. And I say, you know what? It's okay. We're going to start over and it's going to be okay. And so I want you to remember that if you step over your words, if you say the wrong thing, if something doesn't land the way you want it to, don't stress out about it. I don't want you to get so caught up into having it perfect that it keeps you from doing that class, and it keeps you fearful, and it keeps you up at night. Okay. So, remember, your students are there to decorate. They're there to have a fun time. They're there to have fun. And so that's what you are. They're there to learn something new. And I promise you, even if you say the wrong thing, even if only 2 people come to the class, you are still going to be able to create that fun experience with them. So when you really let go of that perfection, you become more relatable. And I want you to remember that. That's when people are going to connect with you. And that's what you're trying to achieve with your cookie class business. You're trying to connect with your students. You want to give them this great experience. And again, like I said, the more you do this, the more it will snowball and you will start filling up those classes. So here's the truth, guys. Here's the truth. Mistakes do not ruin a cookie class. I am proof of that. Okay, they make you human. It makes you human and it makes you relatable. And your students, they want a human. They don't want a robot. They don't want someone that's perfect coming up there and teaching that class. They want someone who's real, someone that they can learn from, and someone who can show them, hey, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay if things don't go perfect. And here's how you can fix that. And this is what we can do for next time. Okay. So if the fear of messing up or people not showing up or doing the wrong thing, if that's holding you back from teaching your class, I want you to move forward from that. And I want you to, teaching is so much more than just that. Okay. I want you to grab my free guide, How to Plan Your Cookie Class in 3 Easy Steps. So it's going to walk you through exactly how to get started without all of the overwhelm. I know that you think, well, what boxes do I need? And what classes am I going to teach? And how much icing do I need to make, right? It can feel super overwhelming when you think of all of the things, right? This guide is going to walk you through exactly what you need to get started teaching your class. And it's going to help you build your confidence so that you can teach your first or maybe your next cookie class with confidence without the overwhelm, and you're going to knock it out of the park. So I would love to see you in there in that guide. Let me know if you have trouble downloading it. You can get the link for it below. But I hope this was helpful. I want you to push past your fears and know that it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. And you can make this an amazing cookie class business. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye, guys.